to justice is emboldening impunity and leaving rural communities constantly bracing up for the next attack. Exactly. Katsina State, the home state of late former President Muhammadu Buhari, has remained one of the epicenter of Nigerian worsening banditry crisis. Of course, it has to be because Muhammadu Buhari personally sponsored the incoming of these terrorists from all West Africa. So why wouldn't he invade the hometown? Muhammadu Buhari personally sold out Katsina State to Fulanis in all West Africa. He said they should come. They will be given visa at the port of entry. He said it in national TV. And why is Amnesty International pretending as if they don't know? Why is the world pretending as if they don't know? Muhammadu Buhari opened the border and said all Fulani from West Africa should come in. We have seen their governors come to national TV to say that every Fulani is a Nigerian. Every Fulani man, they don't even care about your Nigeria. They are Fulani. Wherever they are Fulani. They are first of all Fulani before they are anything. And today they are looking for land. After El-Rufai and Muhammadu Buhari went and paid them and brought them in to come and remove Goodluck Jonathan. And you now want to, you are now confused. The earlier the world break up Nigeria and allow this late Muhammad Buhari with the spirit and the people he brought to remain in that northern part of Nigeria, the better for them. They can sort their problem out. Break up the country, allow them to sort their problem out. Why do you have to be bothering other people for the problem you created by yourself? Why? Over the past years, bandits have carried out hundreds of attacks targeting farmers, traders, school children, religious congregations. Despite multiple military operations and peace initiatives, the violent attack and killing have persisted, displacing thousands and crippling local economy. Security analysts say weak intelligence network, inadequate policing, and corruption within security agencies have made rural areas especially vulnerable. Amnesty International and other rights groups have reportedly argued Nigerian authorities to take decisive action, arguing that until justice is served and communities are protected, bandit attack killings will remain a recurring nightmare for citizens across the northern region of the country. And from what you see, does it look like it's going to stop? It is not going to stop. Not today, not tomorrow, not anytime soon. It is not going to stop. The atrocities against the innocent people will continue. The attack against the innocent citizens will continue. It doesn't matter the grammar that Amnesty International speak. It doesn't matter what they say. The truth remains the truth. If you care about Nigeria, support the state of Biafra. If you care about Nigeria, support the establishment of Biafra. Recognize Biafra. Once Biafra is recognized, Oduduwa will go their separate ways. Arewa will go their separate ways. Middle Belt will go. And people will now confidently grow in their own space, at their own speed, protect their own region, practice the religion they want, the system they want, without any interruption. Only that will bring peace. That is why we say we are presenting Biafra as a remedy. Not out of pride, not out of envy, not out of jealousy, not out of wickedness. We present Biafra as a remedy. That when Biafra becomes free, every indigenous person in Nigeria will be free. People can settle in their own area, protect their own boundaries, and be who they want to be. That is what we are asking for. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much of a request to make? I don't think it is too much. That is the normal thing that we are asking for. And I believe and hope by the special grace of Chukwu Okike that this zoo has ended and will never ever rise again. It will never rise again. I want us to hear this message from Lolo Nneka also. Let's hear the message coming from Lolo Nneka.
Hello guys, this is Lolo Nneka Chimenze. I want to use this opportunity to call all Christian leaders to rise and start defending Christian. All church owners, church leaders, bishops, pastors, to rise and start defending Christians. I can.
Sorry, I'm going to start it again. Let's see if we can get it out.
This is Lalo Neka Chimense. I want to use this opportunity to call all Christian leaders to rise and start defending Christians. All church owners, church leaders, bishops, pastors, to rise and start defending Christians. I can see that there is a lot of politicking in the Christendom. We're here in 2012, 13, 14, when a prominent pastor, Pastor Enoka Deboye and Tunde Bakari, led a protest against a fellow Christian president. Not just that, to install a Muslim, not just a Muslim president, an Islamic extremist. And they will not say they don't know. Why did they lead this protest? Because they believe that because their people are going to be in that one, it's like that alliance is like alliance between the North and the Southwest. So the Christians defiled the Christian body and led the protest to install an Islamic extremist.
Fundamentalist.
Pastor Deboye will not say he doesn't know what
he knows.
Stands for or he knows. Stands for. Because there was an agenda that they are going to confiscate and inherit Igbo properties. So for Pastor Deboye, it's not about Christians, it's about his tribe. Even if it means installing evil, he did. Because the discrimination started from Redeemed Christian Church of God. Now, having said all this, I am challenging Pastor Deboye. If you say you are a true Christian, a Christian has been judged by the Sharia law in Abuja. When they want to install this Sharia court in the Southwest, you all rise and defended it. So are you keeping mum because you felt your religion is safe? Are you keeping mum because you felt it is happening to your enemy, the Igbos? Now, I am calling on the Christian body to arise against this jihad that has come upon us. There is jihad going on right now in the Middle Belt and in the Southeast, South and Southeast, in various forms. And if Christians does not rise to unite, I'm sorry. Pastor Deboye, if you think the Yoruba race is safe, it's not true. All they want to do is to divide Christians first and conquer them bit by bit. Because if they come out and make it known that this is jihad, the whole world will arise, just like they're rising. I've not heard your voice. And I will not be surprised if you will arise and to condemn the genocide. Of course, Reverend Father Kuka, the moment Bishop Kuka took up an appointment from a government that have encouraged genocide against Christians, I knew he has compromised. And let me tell you, people will begin to question church and Christianity because you are showing us that the two things is different. That church is a business venture, while Christianity is a religion. So I'm using this opportunity to call Christians to rise and defend their members, especially these church leaders. I'm calling on number one. You must lead a 1 million march. Pastor Enoka Deboye, you must lead a 1 million march in this country, Nigeria, to save Christians, especially a Christian that was judged by a Sharia court and the genocide that is going on in the South.
You will not. You never see that one.
And in the Southeast. If anybody is telling you that IPOP is the one responsible, is a lie. Just like they hide under Farmers Herders Clash to sponsor the jihad in the North, they are hiding under IPOP while they raised the jihadists in the person of Elijah Sadiq Kibo, created a platform in Bubago, and hand them over to, pour them into Southeast, give them military protection. And they started sacking villages because if you look at what is obtainable from the North and in the Southeast and South, it's the same thing. So I'm calling on all church leaders to rise and protest and join their voices with what is happening in America with Senator Cruz.
They will not.
Christianity. Because by the time they capture the East, which they believe will give them a serious resistance, and the Middle Belt, the same year Pastor Deboye will preach Quran in your church. So let us rise before it is too late.
Exactly. It's a very good one. But just like my sister wrote here, If you challenge Adeboye from now till thy kingdom come, he will never show up. It is all wickedness against the Igbos. That is true. Challenge Adeboye from here, hell to heaven. You will never hear any one of their mouth. Have you ever hear him speak? This was the same Adeboye who went to confirm in London, went all the way to London to confirm that the terrorist jihadist that was dead, late Muhammad Buhari, was alive. Remember, it was Adeboye that they used to push that propaganda. When late Muhammad Buhari died in London, it was Adeboye that they took. He claimed he saw when they were trying to bring that imposter, who was just like that. Then he was just like a remote. He would just sit down and laugh. In London, you remember, some of you have forgotten. It was Adeboye that they took to push that propaganda. They flew Adeboye all the way to London, that he went to visit late Muhammad Buhari, a dead man. He was the one that when they used in that program. These were the people that came. Just recently, I forgot to bring that video. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to play that video. Recently, one of them confessed, they are confessing, that protest they had against Goodluck Jonathan was wrong. That they knew that removing subsidy at that time was the right thing to do. All these people knew that removing subsidy that Jonathan wanted to do that was the right thing to do, but all of them gang up together. They gang up together and they came and they protested against Goodluck Jonathan. One of the politicians was confessing. I will get that video. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to play the video. I'll find it and play it. I can't get the video now. One of them, politician, was confessing that the protests they held against, and he was laughing. He was laughing and people were jubilating and clapping. APC, a jihadist party. When the court in Canada told you that the ruling parties in Nigeria are terrorist organizations, you think it's a joke. Let me tell you, Canada is a first world country. It's not a third world country. Canada is a first world country. So whatever they say, they don't just come and say it to make you happy or to entice you or to, they don't support anybody. Before a Canadian high court will come out and say a word, before a Canadian judge will open their mouth and say anything, they have evidence. When a court in Canada said that the leading parties in Nigeria are terrorist organizations, it was not a blackmail. It wasn't a propaganda. It wasn't to make you happy. It is the fact, the truth, and nothing but the truth. You can imagine that time. Adeboye, you are talking about Adeboye, was in front line shouting and shouting with the other idiot. There's one other clown again that wanted to contest the president also. That one was also with them. Every one of them we are speaking, supporting a jihadist to be the president of Nigeria. And they lied against their own brother. Not just their own brother, they lied against an innocent man who was innocently trying to put Nigeria on the right track. Recently, one idiot came and confessed and said that time they knew that subsidy, the movement of subsidy was one thing that is in the manifesto, is the right thing to do at that time, but there was nothing they could do for the party's sake and all that. They spoke against that. They fought against him. They attacked him. They destroyed everything he stood for. And today they are confessing. Today they are confessing. This same church people were the people they used. This same Adeboye was the person that gave Muhammad Buhari a vice president. Even during that time, his own pastor was murdered in cold blood, who went to preach. They took away the life of the innocent woman because he went for morning cry preaching. All this while, they have been talking about this Christian genocide. Have you ever heard Adeboye speak about it? Have you ever heard Adeboye speak about it? But when the issue of tithe and offering was on, Adeboye was one of those who is always on the online talking about every Sunday preaching is tithe and offering. You must give tithe. At a point in time, he opened his mouth and said, if you don't pay tithe, you will not go to heaven. He opened his mouth, this same mouth he used to talk to me. He said, if you don't pay tithe, you go to heaven. Only when the pressure became so much, he came back and apologized. He said there are certain things he said before that were not right. He said that if you don't pay the tithe, you will not go to heaven, that it was wrong. You can imagine somebody of that caliber, somebody of that level, has not, since he has been a pastor till he got to that stage he was, he never knew. He never knew. He has not known that tithe does not have anything to do with going to heaven. Even people that are not pastors, ordinary Christians, know that tithe has nothing to do with going to heaven. But Adeboye doesn't know because he is serving mammon. Because he's serving mammon. Because he's serving God of money. Because his God is God of money. He could not be able to realize that your tithe has nothing to go with your going to heaven. He boldly gathered his pastors and he told them that if anybody that refused to pay tithe will not make heaven. It was only when the fire came up upon him, when pressure came and people began to speak from all angles, he came and confessed. Today, in the genocide of Christians who he has been extorting for years, the Christians that gave him the platform where he standing, the Christian that he had been extorted for long, what has he said about it? What has been his own contribution? He is the one that is dining in the corridor of power. He is dining with Tinubu and co. He is the one working with them. He called them on phone, speak with them. What effort has he made? Even the genocide that's happening in Kwara State, has he said anything? Has he said anything in the plan of the Fulanis to take over Kwara State? Kwara State, fellow Yoruba people, they are bleeding. They are losing life in Kwara State. Forget about the Christians. Let's say they are not from his place. What of Kwara State? What has he said about Kwara State? What has he said about Kwara State? But when a Christian was there, a genuine man that has conscience was there, a man that said that his presidency does not want the blood of a single human being. The person that said his presidency does not want the blood of a single human being, they pursued him and chased him out. But the man that said that if he didn't win, that the blood of cows and baboon will flood the street, he voted for that man. He worked with that man. Even when the man was dead, he was still promoting the man. And these are the people that come to the pulpit every Sunday and they talk. You know, I don't like talking too much about Christianity or religion. But when there are individual questionable character, we will not fail but call their name. And the time has warranted that. The time has warranted that. Because of the emotional blackmail that they are pushing against us. I have to mention that because of the topic we have today. The topic we have today have a lot to do with the churches, what they preach. They are the ones that the government is using to manipulate us emotionally, including us, those, especially Igbos. When you talk about all these big mega churches, 85% of their members are Igbos. The highest donors in those churches are Igbos. The highest tithe payers, they are Igbos. The highest congregation are Igbos. And they use that means that their church to manipulate you and tell you that you don't have to fight for freedom, even though they know that Christ himself, whom they follow, was a freedom fighter. Christ was a freedom fighter. He came to fight for freedom of humanity. He came to save humanity. He fought for freedom of humanity until the last day. But they will use their church to manipulate you. If you're an IPOB member, you are not a good Christian. If you are a human rights activist of Biafra, you are not a good Christian. They push that emotional blackmail. They use all these big names. They call themselves pastors, including the Biafran ones. Those ones that are, there are some of them that are Biafrans. Michael Konkwa and Co. and all of them. Have you ever heard their voice? The only few men that are giving their voice in the cause of Biafra and the cause of the Igbo is Ebuka Obi and Mbaka. Ebuka Obi and Mbaka, these are the only two people. Sometimes Ebube Monso. Ebuka Obi, Mbaka, Ebube Monso, these are the people that always speak about the issue of Biafra, issue of the Igbos. But other ones, there is one idiot again that is in, I don't know where that one is, that is attacking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he's saying he's a reverend father. One clown that I don't know where he come out from, that will not go and begin to serve his mass in his convent every time he's on social media. A content creator abusing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, abusing Mazi Simon Ekpa. I don't even know where that one come out from. One clown that have failed in his ministry. You have failed as a reverend father. Pull that gun, throw that gun away, and come out and join the content creators and create your content, and let's know you are a content creator. He presents himself as a reverend father. He said he's a reverend father, but every day he's online. Every blessed day he's online, abusing Mazi Simon Ekpa, abusing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. A failure, complete failure. These are the people that people go and sit and say they give you really so. These are the people that come and give you already in your places and you take. You see people sitting under him to pray for them. A man that has no business with religion. He has no business with the church. A failure who has no business with the church. He joined there today. All he does is to castigate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, castigate Mazi Simon Ekpa, attack the Biafran cause. And he called himself a reverend father. He called himself a reverend father. I pray that Chukwu Okabiam will fight our battle and never allow us to lose. Every one of us should remember to have the confidence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa. The composure of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa. The calmness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa. The emotional confidence that they have. This is the time for us to be emotionally confident. Don't allow the content creators to drive your emotions. Don't allow the content creators to make you feel that your brother is your problem. No, we are not. More especially content creators that are not even Biafrans. People who don't know how you feel. They don't know what you are passing through. And I say it again and again. If you are not a Biafran, you can never on the planet Earth know what the Biafrans are going through. You cannot. You can feel sympathy genuinely. You can feel us genuinely, but feeling exactly how we feel, knowing exactly how we feel is impossible. Only a Biafran understands what a Biafran is going through. For you to understand the situation of a Biafran, you must be a Biafran. Our situation is not just marginalization. It's not just, it is something that follows us every day you sleep and you wake up. Your children come back from school, they complain about it. You enter a bus, you see it. You go into the church, you see it. You go into your schools, you see it. You travel in the airport, you see it. Everywhere you are, as an Igbo man, you see the attack on your life on a daily basis. You need to fight for your life every blessed day. From the moment you are born as a Biafran, an Igbo Biafran, you need to fight for your life. You need to convince people to believe you. You need to convince people, you need to prove to people at every given point in time until the day you leave. That is the life we live as Biafrans. So you can't tell me that you understand how we feel or what you can never in your dream understand how a Biafran feel except you are a Biafran. So don't allow anybody to emotionally blackmail you. This is the new strategy of Nigerian government, emotional blackmail. And they have pumped people on media. On social media, they have platforms sponsored. Even in their comment section, you will see people sponsored to comment and promote that agenda. Only to make you feel that you are your own problem. Only to make you remove your eyes from the real problem and begin to challenge your own brother as the enemy. That is all their target. They want to die, and many of us have ended up falling into this very deceit. Many of us today, they use their platform, engage their own brother, day in, day out. They use their propaganda to push negative information against themselves. Some of them are doing this intentionally. because of what they intend to gain. Some are doing it unintentionally. They think they are making sense. The emotional war that we are fighting on media today is something that every Biafra must pay attention to. That person you think is fighting your cause is not. Is not. That person you think is fighting your cause is not. He doesn't understand how you feel. He doesn't know what you are going through. And he can never in his life understand what you go through, what you feel. That is why they make jest of everything. Some of them, they talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You think they are praising Mazi Nnamdi. They are mocking you. Some of them, when they mention Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the course of their discussion, it is mockery. They mock you. They only want to mock you and let you know that the man you trust as your leader, the only man you can present as your leader, he's in jail and cannot be released. It's a mockery. You think they are saying those things to favor? No, they are saying this as a mockery. It only takes you to go into your mind. Go into your mind. Be emotionally intelligent. Then you can be able to understand where they are coming from when they come, and you know where to stand and what to say. That is why this message is timely. Emotional intelligence, it is time. They can break our bones, not our mind. Don't allow them to break your mind. Do not, under any condition, never allow them to break your mind. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, unbroken confidence. Mazi Simon Ekpa, unbroken confidence. Borrow leaf from them. If there is nothing you can learn, borrow this confidence from them. Emotional war on Biafrans. It is going on every day. Today, they have employed many people on their conventional media, on the social media, everywhere. Look at the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a practical example. A country going against its own law. You see the video I played. Every single that video, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was explaining what Nigerian law says. Compare what Nigerian law says to what they are practicing. The law of Nigeria say that the Nigerian government or the courts has no jurisdiction to try the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That any one of them that made an attempt to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on their court is a terrorist. That is what their law says. But they throw away that law and they continue to attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to break him emotionally, to make him angry, to make him violent. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have remained focused. And after all this running helter-skelter, you see him, he came back and told them, no case submission. I have no case because you got no right to try me. He is not. One thing people forget is that it is not just Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying, a Supreme Court in Nigeria said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer in Nigeria. That Nigerian government has no power to try the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Went ahead, said that no court in Nigeria has the right to try case Mazi Nnamdi Kanu until they solve the situation in the extraordinary rendition. You cannot stand on illegality and you'll be talking about legality. This is a fact established, even in their local law and international law. But yet, they ignore it. But go to their media. You can never see any media in Nigeria emphasizing on these issues. They will only tell you how it is governors that are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, how it is Igbo politicians that are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, how it is Igbo businessmen that are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, how is Igbo elite, and they forget. These people forgot that the file lies on the table of the presidency. The executive, that is where the paper lies. That is where it is. The executive. The legislatures have already legislated the law. They legislated the law and they passed it out. And the judiciary have interpreted the law. When they interpreted the law, they say, let him go. He has not committed any crime. It is left for the executive to implement the law. That is why people were protesting, telling Tinubu to implement the law. That is the job of the executive, implementation of the law. That is why the ball lies on his table, not on any other person. But go to many platforms, they use their conventional media and social media to shift the blame. They shift the blame and make you fight yourself. They shift the blame and make you. We know that there are people in our land that has interest, that are afraid of the person who has that. That is not, nobody needs to tell us, we don't need anybody to educate us about that. We do not need any education on that, we know. But the fact remains that the file lies with the executive to implement the law. The file, okay, will he now say, as you are destroying, as he's destroying building of people in Lagos State, so governors in the Southeast will meet him, okay, stop destroying the building of buildings, so he will stop, right? He will stop. Or the governors will tell him, okay, don't apply for the next election, don't participate in the next election. Will he agree? So when they push this emotional blackmail against us, every Biafran should beware. Do not allow them to get you. Don't. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. Do not buy into it. Do not buy into it. I want us to listen to this very video. Let's hear what this brother has to say in this very video on VOP. Let us hear this very discussion they are having and hear what they have to say on this very studio.
Brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria for a case of terrorism. That is the issue at stake. The onus is on Nnamdi Kanu to now question his extraordinary rendition. These are two different things. Nnamdi Kanu ought to sue the federal government, but as of today, Nnamdi Kanu is not suing anybody. Rather, the federal government is suing Nnamdi Kanu for what he did or what he was alleged to have been done. The two of them are different. It is after this case has been adjudicated upon, then Nnamdi Kanu can now question why they had to kidnap him from Kenya.
Barrister, wouldn't that be like medicine after death?
No, it's not. But you can't mix up the two cases now. You are not challenging why you were brought from Kenya. You are not.
Barrister, he did challenge it. That was why the court said you don't have the condition to try him.
No, listen.
He challenged it.
The first thing that the federal government did was to bring him for trial over what? Terrorism. That is the issue at stake now. Nnamdi Kanu can no longer come and say, because you brought me extraordinarily through extraordinary means, therefore you have.
On what ground? On what ground did the appeal court say that the High Court ab initio doesn't have local standard to try him? On what ground was that judgment given?
Look at it. The judges that carried that decision in the appeal court, where are they now? Do you know that?
No, Barrister. Forget where are they. On what ground did the appeal court give that judgment? Did the court grant Nnamdi a prayer that he didn't ask for? No,
Nnamdi Kanu was mixing it up initially. When they brought those charges, remember the charges that was quashed in the appeal court, 15 count charges, is those things that the DSS brought against him. And it was quashed. Even when they got to the Supreme Court now told Nnamdi Kanu, sue the federal government. Enter a civil suit against the federal government for what they did to you. That was where they now brought up these charges against Nnamdi Kanu. So that is what we are talking about now. But so far, Nnamdi Kanu, I didn't hear where he has.
You have not answered my question.
I have answered you, but you don't understand.
I'm asking you, on what ground did the appeal court say that, look, the High Court, because this man was brought in illegally, you don't have the local standard to try him. And I'm asking you, did the appeal court grant a prayer that Nnamdi didn't seek? Or did he just walk into court and court said, look, High Court, you shouldn't have tried him because you brought him back illegally?
The charges at the appeal court, was it not quashed? It was quashed. It was quashed. Is that not true? All the charges against Nnamdi Kanu was quashed at the appeal court.
And yet the appeal court also said the High Court doesn't have right to try him.
At that point, they ought to have left him. But the federal government brought the charges again. when the matter went to appeal, remember, he ought to have been let off the hook, but the federal government, in their own wisdom, brought another charge on Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
And that is where we are now.
Okay, not on the previous charges.
I mean, can't you see it? It had been washed already.
For you to understand this argument and this explanation that this man was making, I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again, what they did. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu won this case. All the charges were quashed, but they went and created another charges. This constant creation of charges, they amended it before. It was 16 charges, from 16 to 8, from 8 to 5, from 5 to nothing. They came back again. They brought 17 charges, from 17 charges to 4. All these things are waste of time and energy because they have nothing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And for you to understand what this man was explaining, I want you to listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to say in this video.
To discuss I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself. They removed it. I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me.
That is true.
Because since this offense was committed in England, so they said, it's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it? Yeah, based on that, they removed from based on that, they now amended the charge again.
Did you hear that? When they brought their charges, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu put forward his defense and told them, made it clear to them that no court in Nigeria has the right to try him. Because in the charges they presented there, they say he committed a crime in London. So if he committed his crime in London, the only people that have the right to try him is the London court, or London court giving them the permission, which has not been given. So when they realized that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows what he's doing, he knows the law, they went back and re-amended the charges. It is important that you know where we are coming from. And when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood on his ground and said, no case submission, he didn't just say it because he wants to say. That's why I'm playing these two videos. These are old videos. Statements Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made at the beginning. That is still what he's making today. That's it. When you are standing on the truth, you don't need rocket science for you to remember. You don't need to anything. You don't need anybody to remind you. Even if you are sleeping or you're waking up, you will say the same thing. The only people that find it difficult to defend themselves are people who are lying. Because if you are lying, you lie today, tomorrow you need another lie to support the lie you lied before. Before you know it, you need 1,000 lies to sustain one lie that you have lied before. But when you are telling the truth, all you need is to wake up, go to the court and give your word. I want you to pay good attention to what transpired at the beginning that brought us to where we are today.
When my lawyers came to see me, to discuss I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself. They removed it. I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me. They removed that long because since this offense was committed in England, so they said, it's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it? Yeah, based on that, they removed from London. Based on that, they now amended the charge again and removed London. Location of the broadcast. Location of the broadcast. Contrary to section 196? 174 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2020. In violation of their own laws. In violation of their own laws. And you want me to stand trial under such circumstances? Is that possible? Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial where these shenanigans are going on? It's not possible.
The same thing he said, that is where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started today. So when you hear Mazi Nnamdi Kanu enter no case submission, it is not just a joke. It's not just that he woke up, he didn't know, just like the one Ape Face Abati was trying to paint it in their studio. Ape Face, when he was talking about the case, Ape Face was saying that he's not sure if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows what he's doing. Maybe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't know the implication of what he's saying. These are the kind of things that their media push. This is the kind of information their media push. And that was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu warned them. I want you to hear this. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu also reveal their violation of their own law. That alone destroys their case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Or coming to try me is a terrorist. That's what their law says. As simple as that. Not me. As simple as that. Section 2, subsection 3F of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. That's what it says. Any court considered to try me is committed an act of terrorism. Yes. Very clear. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then come to try that very person is not done anywhere in the world. So you must be aware of that. So that is why there is all these ridiculous delays. That is what Supreme Court said. I did not jump bail. My home was invaded. They came to kill me and I survived. They came to Kenya to kidnap me, brought me back to this country and seeking to try me, which the law says cannot happen. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then hope to stand on that illegality to conduct a trial. Is not done anywhere in the world. And it happened in my case.
So you can see how they have, at every given opportunity, emotionally blackmailed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But the joy of it all is that in that emotional warfare against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he has remained calm. He has remained composed, and he has remained confident. In the midst of the emotional warfare on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even recently, the result on physical attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer emotional attack. Physical attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In the last court, when he went back to court, you see, they attacked him. In the midst of all this emotional war, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remained calm, remain composed, remain confident. You that is watching this program, borrow leaf from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Borrow something from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You must remain calm. You must remain focused. And you must remain confident that Biafra is possible. It does not matter what you see. It doesn't matter what you hear. Don't allow them to drive you crazy. Don't allow them to make you speak in a manner that is unproductive. Don't allow them to speak against your own freedom. Don't allow them to make you fight your brother, your sister. Don't. Remain focused. The emotional warfare is real. It is real. It is not a joke. If you think it's a joke, think again. It is real. We must remain composed. We must remain focused. And we must maintain that standard, because our problem have reached elastic limits. It is either they let us go or everything will crash. That is where we are today. This message today is very, very important. That when you listen to it, don't keep it to yourself. Share it and make sure that someone else gets this message. It is very, very important. As we are rounding up on this program, this very morning, we are going to come back again in the evening to continue to educate Biafrans, to continue to make revelations on issues that concern us. But as we round up, wherever you are watching me from, either you are watching this program for Biafraland, you're watching me from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, from Israel, from China, Russia, you're watching us from Palestine, you're watching us from Ukraine, wherever you are watching us from, brothers and sisters, this is the truth. If they can't defeat us emotionally, they can't defeat us at all. Did you hear me? If they can't defeat us emotionally, they cannot defeat us at all. Our strength is not in weapons. It's in our unity, intelligence, and emotional balance. Our strength is in our strength is not in weapons. It's in our unity, intelligence, and emotional balance. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, showed us the way. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has shown us the way. Calmness, confidence, strategic. Now it's our turn to carry that energy. Every single one of you that believes and trusts in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the supreme leader of IPOB, he has shown us the way. From what you have seen today, from what I have explained and what I have laid bare before you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have shown us calmness. He has shown us confidence. He has shown us strategic. Now, it's our turn to carry that energy. and run with it. The emotional war is real. But our confidence will win it. Stay strong. Stay smart. Stay emotionally intelligent. Most importantly, stay emotionally intelligent. Very, very important. This is the Biafran spirit. Unbroken, unstoppable, and awake. We demand free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now. Biafra will always rise. Wherever you are watching us from, do not forget in this platform to like and share the program. Comment and subscribe if you are not done so. Because the world must hear us. The world must hear us. The world must hear us. No matter how they try to stop us, we will make sure that they hear us. I want you to know, wherever you are, that in the world of today, as we march on, emotional intelligence is the new revolution. Don't forget that. Control your emotion. Control the enemy. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu calmness is our lesson in courage. Biafrans, stay strong. Never react in fear. Psychological warfare requires mental power. Confidence is our weapon. Unity is our shield. They can break what is built. They can't break what is built on truth. They can't. It doesn't matter how they try. They can never, ever break what is built on truth. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, I appreciate every one of you that have been able to participate on this program today. Everyone that is on the comment section supporting in one way or the other, may Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect every one of you. I thank you all for being part of this program. Please, if you have not shared this program, you are not doing yourself any good. Your sharing the program is not just for me, it is for the cause of Biafra. I have done my part, and my own part is to come on here and speak the truth that the world may hear. Call the attention of the international communities as much as I can. Sharing of the message is in your hand. Share it in all your social media network, your Twitter handle, your Facebook, your YouTube channel, everywhere you can. Cut it out and share. It is time for us to prepare. The battle is not easy, but we're going to win. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide and protect every single Biafran that is on this platform.